Hello, welcome to Spread Bookjoy. Today I want to review Sword of Kaigen. If you're new to the channel, I'm Jack, and if you're not new, welcome back. Sword of Kaigen is set in an Asian-inspired universe, a huge world, really complex politically and socially, and initially when we go into the book, we are brought into one point in the world, which is the land of Kaigen, and Kaigen is one country within this Theonite universe, and we are dropped into the Sword of Kaigen, which is a peninsula where the best warriors live. These warriors fight with ancient techniques and weapons, as well as their elemental magic, and the Theonites on Kaigen, their elemental magic is to do with water, so they can manipulate water, moisture in the air, snow, ice, and things like that. And initially it just seems like they're very old-fashioned, but we learn that this is a technologically advanced society, even though the Sword of Kaigen itself, this peninsula where the ancient warrior classes are, seems to be very traditional. But because their warriors are the best fighters and they're the sort of first point of defense for anyone invading Kaigen, they stick to a very traditional way of life, and they train traditionally, and they are kind of kept cut off from the rest of the country. And as the book goes on, this idea of their insularity, they're sort of kept in a very insular, protected way, and they are loyal to the emperor. There's an emperor in Kaigen, and they will fight for the emperor, and they're the first line of defense, and they're very proud people. And then someone comes to join the village, and you realize that actually outside of this village and this mountain that they live on, the world's actually quite technologically advanced, but they for some reason don't have the sort of internet kind of access or the communication technology that everywhere else seems to have. And so we get the picture of this world where actually outside of Kaigen there's a lot going on, and the residents in Kaigen are not really being told that much by those in charge of them. But there's a lot of political and social unrest. There are things going on that they're getting snippets of stories of earthquakes and natural disasters happening. We're getting two perspectives at the start of the story. There is a boy called Mamoru and his mother Mizaki, and they are the wife and son of one of the most ferocious warriors in Kaigen, and their ruling family, the Matsudas. And the Matsudas are one of the best fighting families, and they're kind of like the chief military family there on the mountain. And Mizaki has been married for 15 years and her son Mamoru is 14. So we are given both perspectives, which I thought was really unusual, to have the mother's perspective and the son's perspective, and they're both members of a really noble ancient family. Mizaki though is very unhappy, and she's been married for 15 years, and we kind of get the impression that before she was married she is now this sort of very polite, very demure housewife, but she's got a past. So I'm not going to say anything more than that, but the Sword of Kaigen is full of fantastic character development. There's just amazing depth to these characters, and what I absolutely loved, and I'm not one for huge battle scenes, but the fight scenes and the battle scenes in this book were epic. They were so good. I was absolutely gripped to the point where I was like gasping at certain points. For me though, the first half of the book was absolutely phenomenal all the way. The second half of the book did not live up to the first half of the book, and I'm not going to go into spoilers, but the second half of the book, for me, it didn't quite live up to the first half, but that doesn't mean it wasn't excellent. I thought it was really well done, but it could have done with a lot of good editing. I feel like there are other stories that could have been told alongside this. So it's been released as a standalone, but it felt like this is like the start of the series for me, or we've got other stories in this universe that need to be told, so that second half of the book felt more satisfying. So yeah, without spoiling it, I can't really say any more, but if you have read it, let me know what you think. Try not to put any spoilers in the chat if you do want to chat about it, but I just felt this was something that really showcased this author as someone who is one to watch out for. And then I discover that she's just released a book which I'm definitely going to read, and it's set in a different universe, and she has said that she will come back to the Theonite universe when she's ready to write the stories she wants to write, because at the moment she doesn't feel she's as good a writer as that universe and that story deserves, which I think is admirable really. I'm going to leave it there, but I highly recommend it. If you like fantasy, then you really should give Sword of Kaigen a go. I was really impressed with this book, and I would definitely be reading whatever ML Wang puts out in the future. If you like this review and you've not subscribed, maybe consider subscribing. Hopefully I will see you again here soon. Bye!